Back at it again today, guys. We've got the whole week of super hot weather. It's supposed to be up in the 90s. So we're going to try to get this third cutting alfalfa put up. And it's looking like it's pretty good stuff. It's got pretty good growth to it. It's pretty tall. It's blooming out pretty good. I think this alfalfa is going to be pretty nice stuff. Starting on the big flat piece in the bottom. And it's easily, over knee high. So probably gonna have 3 or so bales the acre down here. Pretty impressed with that. For a third cutting, man, that's really chooching right along. It's pretty nice. Few sporadic random spots, that light green stuff there, that's foxtail coming through. Again, I don't know why the foxtails, you know, chooching along this hard in September, but there it is. And they're fully mature tails, but just not very much of it, so that's okay. We'll get along there with that in there. Alright guys, time to do some raking. Kinda cool looking out that window, isn't it? Nothing but nice green windrows and third cutting alfalfa. Looking good. All by myself today. Little guy, he's off at school. And I'm sure he's gonna be kinda irritated that I'm down here raking without him. But that's the way it goes. You can't always wait on the kid. Almost done. We've got just one more little field to go, a little 10-acre piece. But it's on the bottom, and that's the one that always yields the most. It's kind of nice. It was like knee high. The third cutting, that's pretty good stuff. Something else I want to talk to you guys about. When you guys are raking, before a baler gets there and he's not going to be there for a while, or you're raking by yourself, and you got to stop and, you know, do the baling yourself after you're done raking, leave the end rows, guys, until the very last. Some of the guys that I bale for, he will, well, anyway, several of them, they will go around and they'll do the end rows and then come back, get the center of the field with the end rows in the way, and that's kind of a problem. If you're raking with the baler chasing you in the same field, same time, but by all means go wherever you want and the baler can just kind of follow you. But when you're by yourself or the baler's not going to be there for a while, do the center of the field first. The end rows won't be in your way. I'll show you kind of what I mean once I get on this next piece. Okay, so here's what I mean, guys. A lot of guys come in here, whether they've got a baler themselves or they're hiring it done, and they'll just start in just like they're mowing, go around the outside and get their end rows done, and then they'll, you know, start back and forth on the long straight rows, and they'll look at that and like, well shit, now I've got my end rows right here and my long rows are coming right in, and shit, I'm gonna mess them all up, tromp them down. Well, I want that baler right here. I want him here so I can turn around, do these long rows, so I don't have to stomp down on my end rows. Well, sometimes you don't have that option. The baler's not right there. So what can you do? Well, let's go over here on our straight rows. Just like we were mowing, we went around the field 6 times so we can have 3 end rows with the rake. And we went over here to get our long straight row to start. Well, that's where I'm going to go first. I'm going to go over here to our long straight row. Not the end row, grant you, but the main row is going this way. And I'm going to start in there. Now I don't want to get mixed up with my end rows, so I got to count in 6 swaths. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it should be these right here. Let's count them again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we got to go with these 2. Now just set the rake down and away we go. Everything else is normal. We need to widen it just a little bit. Whoops, not that far. I got it. This is a 12-wheel rake and it'll run about 30 foot or so. Well, I don't need to run 30 foot. I just need to run about 26. Well, not even that, about 24. Now, sometimes on the end rows, or if I've got some corners, I'll go ahead and widen the rake out because these rakes are so long that they don't trail very good around the corner. So you're going to be going around the corner and it'll be clear over there, which, you know, that's to be expected. But what I'm saying is if you got your rake widened out, then you can lean out with the tractor so that the inside of your rake is just barely touching the windrow, and the back end of the rake will still be turning over that windrow that's on the inside of your curve. Otherwise you'll be pulling your outside windrow on top of your other windrow, and then that doesn't do you any good. Now, another unfortunate thing with these big ass long rakes is they don't turn worth a shit when you're trying to turn around. I'll lift up, and because it doesn't turn very short, I do skip rows. So I'll skip 2 and come back over here and drop it in on this one. And you can either go all the way across the field like that, doing skip rows, and then turn around and do your skips all the way back, or you can go over here to this next skip row, and when you get back up to that end, you can scoot back over here and do these 2. Then you'll be doing kind of a goofy oval, getting your butt worked across the field, and that works too. That's usually what I do with the baler. I'll do skip ovals. Alright, so that's kind of what we're going to do to start this, and man, this hay is looking pretty premium, I think. Aside from the foxtail, the minute amount that's in this piece. This would be a really good one to square bale. Well, spots anyway, because it's sporadic. There's sporadic, you know, foxtail throughout the field. I don't know, I'm not going to square bale it because of that. Okay, now we're going to pick up on this end row. I'm going to pick up on this and go around over here and skip to those 2. Another thing I want to mention, no matter when the baler's going to be here and you're pulling out into the end row, you're doing these long rows. You pull out into the end rows, make sure you pull into the end rows with the back end of your rake. If you pick up the rake before the back end's up there, you're going to leave a whole lot of little triangles and little Y-shaped pieces of the 2 windrows you're trying to bring up here that are not raked. And same thing when you're setting the rake down. Make sure you set it down ahead of time so you're not leaving skips. That's some of the most annoying shit that I've ever baled, is guys that lift the rake up too soon and you got a bunch of little spots there that you can't get with the dang baler unless you go back and forth the other way, because they're all fucking laying down there. Okay, now I'll do one here just like I'm telling you not to do. This is what you don't do, guys. Right there. I'll turn it around even so you can see it. You see what I'm talking about? That's not rigged. and that's not raked right there. So when I come through with the end row pass, this is going to be going over here. Well, that's not going to get picked up. And to come through with the baler, it's not wide enough to reach both of those sides. So I'm just going to circle right back over there so you can see it better, and then I'll get it pulled out in there like it's supposed to be. There, now you can really see it. That's what I'm talking about. You got to have that rake down all the way out into the end rows. Otherwise, you're leaving little skips. Now lift up. And don't worry about the dang end rows. You'll get them cleaned up when you do those. See how that kind of looks shaggy and shitty right now? Don't worry about it right now. We'll get it when we do the end rows. Okay, now see, as we come back through and clean up our end rows, got two end rows right here, and because we came out through and picked up into the end rows with the rake, we're cleaning up all our little points. We don't have any stupid little Y's out there that didn't get raked. Another hint for you guys, if you guys have big long curves or diagonal point rows, you need to look at your point rows and go a specific direction, and I'll show you why right here. I'm going the wrong direction. Okay, watch this. See how that row over there is getting wadded up into a big ball? Same way with that one. If you're wanting to dry your hay a little bit more in the windrow, those big wads are certainly not going to dry. So if you can, and if you have hay that needs to be dried a little bit more, you need to make sure you're going the right direction in your end rows. Now this one here is curved the other direction, and it will be going the correct way. Now watch what it does with these windrows, with these straight rows. It's just going to pull that one right over without wadding it up. And here comes the next one. Pulls it over, cuts it off, doesn't make a big mess. Okay? Now I know a lot of the times it's not an option to turn around and, like on this one where we got two going each direction, it's not really feasible to turn around and go the other direction just for two short little windrows. But keep that in mind, you're gonna have these big ass wads because you're just pulling that long row right into your end row in a freaking straight line. It causes big old wads. You can see them back there. But if you got nice square fields, which most of us don't, well, then you can just zip across them like this, and you've got nothing but nice, clean end rows to go come back and bale. Look at that. Nice, sharp cut lines. Yeah. Now, you see what I mean about the big wads? If your hay's damp, it ain't gonna dry out in that fucking big old wad. Okay, so you're saying, well, maybe I should just do the regular way, do the end rows first, and then I won't have those big old messes to worry about. Well, maybe you won't, but chances are you're not picking those windrows up because you're trying to not get into your end row with your rake, so you're leaving little bitty chunks of your long rows out there that's not getting raked up, and you're running over your end rows, knocking off leaves. And I know you're not going to get the rake wheels picked up quick enough that you're not going to scatter them end rows just a little bit. So when I get done, I've got nice square cut, you know, nice end rows, nice clean cut, no fingers hanging out there. And I might have, depending on the shape of the field, like that one over there, where I was showing you not to do that. You know, you might have some wads, or if you take the extra time and cut in and turn around to do them the right way, well, then you won't have wads. So I prefer to get it all raked up the best I can and not be tromping over it a bunch more times. Alright, see those? Nice and crisp those are. Now I'm just going to yank right straight out here into my last ones and zip along to the last end row. Nice end rows. Nice transition right into the long rows. That's what it's all about, guys. Having nice windrows. You don't have to spend a lot of time trying to clean up. Oh, hey, hey. Stupid radio. You don't have to spend a bunch of time trying to clean up the shit on the end rows because the rake didn't do a very good job. That's what it's all about. Anyway, got 12 on the monitor so far, showing 15% moisture. So this stuff is just right. Man, look at that. That's a good looking bale right there. So this is the first field that we mowed here. The last field that we raked. I don't know. I figured maybe that stuff over there, if it needed to dry a little bit longer, it would be better to get it lifted up sooner than this piece so it would dry better. I don't know. Anyway. We don't have any skips out here in the ends. It's all raked up nice. Nice, clean, square cut end rows, long rows. In case you're wondering what that little guy is about, tells us our grease gun's not pumping. Grease gun's empty. These newer Vermeers have a onboard Lincoln grease gun, and they actually grease the major points in the baler, the top rollers, the bottom rollers, the big drum, that kind of stuff. So it actually greases itself as it's running. Not very much, just, you know, once every so many bales it pumps a little bit just to help keep the dirt out of the bearings. Which is pretty handy. Obviously it doesn't grease the PTO shaft or anything like that, but working on the last piece here at the home farm, and that's going to pretty well wrap up third cutting, guys. Not too many bales on it, but whatever. It's, you know, it's pretty good hay. The reseeding we did on this corner over here last year didn't seem like it really took. I was kind of thinking that it would, but the clover was kind of coming, but it's pretty sparse. I think we're going to have to redo it again either this fall or come spring. We're going to have to get some more seed on it. There isn't really much there at all for, you know, for clover or no alfalfa whatsoever, but hardly any clover. I don't know. Shit just, sometimes it does good, and sometimes it just doesn't do worth the shit. Anyway, that's going to pretty well wrap it up for this video, guys. It's been kind of a informative one. If you guys are, you know, kind of liking learning how to bale and learning how to do your own stuff on your own without, you know, without any assistance. Hope I gave you some insightful ideas. And you know what? Some guys that have been farming for, you know, better part of 50 years, they still could use some pointers sometimes. That's kind of why I brought it up. Some guys just, you know, could learn a little bit, could learn a different way to do things. Not that necessarily what they're doing is wrong, but there's some better ways to do things. As the old saying goes, there's more than one way to skin a cat. So I hope that helps you guys out. And remember, guys, hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. If you got any questions or comments, certainly hit me up down below. Until the next video, guys, thanks for watching. Catch you later.